what if I told you the same platform that made it crazy easy to start collecting payments could also yank your revenue, freeze your funds, and shut down your business overnight? No warning, no email, no phone call, just gone. That platform is Stripe. They don't really know who you are. They don't really know what you sell. They don't know how you deliver it. In fact, they don't even know whether you deliver it at all. That means stuff like tips, donations, and subscriptions to content that would likely otherwise be public. And brace yourself, even purchases of exclusive content. Sound familiar? That's basically 80% of everybody I just mentioned. You could actually be flagged as an outrageous claim. Even if your offer is totally legit, even if your testimonials are 100% real, and even if your chargeback rate is 0. But why? Because Stripe does not investigate truth. They scan for perception. The Stripes, the PayPals, the Squares, even some banks, they've all learned the same thing. Digital businesses equal volatility, and volatility equals risk. And what do they do with risk? They cut it. Hey, real quick before we start, what if I told you the same platform that made it crazy easy to start collecting payments could also yank your revenue, freeze your funds, and shut down your business overnight? No warning, no email, no phone call, just gone. That platform is Stripe. And if you're a content creator, coach, consultant, SaaSpreneur, agency owner, ad buyer, or anyone else taking payments online for your digital products and services, what I'm about to show you could literally save your business this year. Because here's the truth. In 2025, Stripe has quietly made moves that should have every digital entrepreneur asking one question: am I next? Let's break this down. Stripe is great until it's not. They could process $1 trillion a year, but if they can't process $10 for you, who cares? It makes no difference to you. You fill out a quick form, you connect your bank account, and you're up and running. No paperwork, no questions, no delays. And if you're one of those people I just mentioned, a coach, a consultant, a SaaSpreneur, agency owner, you pick it, it's almost too good to be true. Because honestly, it kind of is. See, Stripe is what we call a payment aggregator, or a PayFac. That means they batch tons of merchants like you into a single mega account that they control. You're not a real merchant to them. You're just a sub account, which is fine until something goes wrong. Now, here's where things get a little bit tricky. Unlike traditional merchant providers who do upfront underwriting, Stripe does zero checking in the beginning. They don't really know who you are. They don't really know what you sell. They don't know how you deliver it. In fact, they don't even know whether you deliver it at all. And that's fine until you scale. Because the more volume you do, the more risk they take on. And risk is Stripe's worst enemy. Here's why. Let's say a customer disputes a charge. Credit card rules give them 6 months to dispute it. 6. So they file a dispute, and the first thing Stripe does, they pull that money from your bank account. Now, if your business is gone, if you close your LLC or your account is empty, Stripe has to eat that loss. So what does that mean? It means they don't trust you, plain and simple, because they simply can't. No, they didn't vet you up front, so now they're constantly watching for red flags. And it's all based on an algorithm. It's not a real person looking at that information. And if they think your business model might cause problems, if there's even a blip in that algorithm, you're getting flagged. Or worse, shut down. So this is where coaches, consultants, SaaSpreneurs, and agency owners come in. Because in mid-2024, Stripe updated their restricted business list. And guess what suddenly showed up? You got it. Everybody I just mentioned. Right there in black and white. Stripe said they're cracking down on transactions that provide compensation to coaches, consultants, SaaSpreneurs, everybody that had a business without a clear underlying digital product. So what does that mean? That means stuff like tips, donations, and subscriptions to content that would likely otherwise be public. And brace yourself, even purchases of exclusive content. Sound familiar? That's basically 80% of everybody I just mentioned. Now, Stripe did get a ton of backlash for that update. Tons of X threads, YouTube videos, lots of comment storms. So within 24 hours, they quietly rolled it back. They deleted content creator label from the prohibited list and shifted the language over to platforms content creators, coaches, consultants, SaaSpreneurs, agency owners. But let's be real, that didn't really change anything, did it? They didn't remove the restriction, they just moved the target. Instead of saying, we're cracking down on creators, now they're saying, we're cracking down on platforms that support content creators, coaches, consultants, SaaSpreneurs, and agency owners. You see the game they're playing there? They want to limit their exposure without making digital business owners panic. But if you're selling on high level, Samcart, Kajabi, ClickFunnels, pick a platform, you're definitely still on their radar. And let me pause here, because this is where a lot of people, everyone I just mentioned, this is where they get caught off guard. They're going to say things, and I hear it all the time, like, but I've never had a chargeback. My account's been fine for years. I've run millions of dollars through it. We're totally clean, no issues at all. And that all might be true, but here's what you're missing. Stripe isn't just looking at you. They're looking at everybody that fits into that entire digital business portfolio. Everybody that I just mentioned, they're all in the same bucket. So if your entire category has a high aggregate chargeback rate, then it's Stripe's job to protect Stripe. That's simple. They're not there to protect you. Now let's get a little bit deeper. There's still one thing that Stripe left off their restricted list, and it's a bombshell. Businesses that make outrageous claims, use high pressure upselling or deceptive testimonials, or they say, we can replace your entire team with AI. We can auto bill through AI. We can auto book your calendar through AI. All that sound familiar, right? That's basically every business that I just mentioned. It's on every one of their websites. If you talk about anything AI related that can auto book any appointment, that can answer any question that's asked to it, that now does outbound calling, everything that sounds outrageous, even though we might know it to be true, right? Getting leads on autopilot, all of that stuff. You could actually be flagged as an outrageous claim. Even if your offer is totally legit, even if your testimonials are 100% real, and even if your chargeback rate is 0. But why? Because Stripe does not investigate truth. They scan for perception. If it looks risky, they'll freeze your funds first and ask questions never. And here's the scariest part. Even if they never shut you down, they can still hold your money. We're talking about 30, 60, even 180-day rolling reserves. They'll take 25% of your revenue or more and sit on it. No warning whatsoever. And good luck getting it back if you ever leave the platform. They call it a risk hold. But for you, it might be the difference between making payroll or closing your doors. So what's the play here? Do you just leave Stripe? Not necessarily. Stripe's fine for some businesses. If you're an in-person service, if you sell shoes, hats, physical products, Snickers bars, coffee cups, great. But if you're running a coaching brand, if you have an agency, if you're a SaaSpreneur, or you have some type of consulting practice that does over 10 grand a month to maybe up to 500,000 a month, it doesn't need to be that way. You need to be smart, and that means having redundancy. So let me explain. Here's the biggest mistake I see business owners make. They set up a quote backup merchant account and then they never use it, almost like an email domain. They think it's like insurance, that you only are going to use it if Stripe fails. Wrong. Huge mistake. Because the moment Stripe shuts you down and you pump 100,000 in volume through a cold merchant account, the backup provider is going to panic. They'll flag you. They're going to pause your deposits. They may even re-underwrite you from scratch. Worst case, they shut that account down too. So the better way is this. Set up multiple merchant accounts, but don't leave them idle. Run a percentage of your sales through each one starting now. That way, you have processing history, you stay compliant, and if one account gets zapped, your business keeps moving. That's how the big players do it. They never rely on just one processor. Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Dean Graziosi, all have diversified payment systems. And if it's good enough for them, it's probably good enough for us. I know what you might be thinking though. But I don't want the extra hassle. I don't have time to set up multiple accounts. Look, I get it. But let me ask you, do you have time to lose your entire revenue stream? How about, do you have time to fight Stripe for 6 months over the $100,000 they froze? Because that's the risk you're taking every single day you go all in on one processor. Especially now in 2025, where payment platforms are tightening up everywhere. The Stripes, the PayPals, the Squares, even some banks, they've all learned the same thing. Digital businesses equal volatility, and volatility equals risk. And what do they do with risk? They cut it. So here's your game plan. Step 1, keep Stripe, but don't rely on it exclusively. Get a properly underwritten merchant account with a provider who understands your business. Split your volume between multiple accounts, even if it's 10, 10, 10, and then you add another 40 or 50, right? So you're never caught cold. Then you watch your messaging. Don't give anybody a reason to call you high risk, especially Stripe. Don't make outrageous claims. Don't have shady testimonials. Don't do push button language. Keep it clean, keep it compliant, and keep your money. Now, if you don't know where to start or you're not sure who to trust, that's literally what we do. We've helped thousands of businesses, especially coaches, consultants, content creators, SaaSpreneurs, agency owners. We've helped them all protect their revenue and scale properly. We've seen it all, and we know how to do this the right way. So if you want help, no pressure, head over to Noomerik.com and take a look at the information we have for you there. Or you can roll the dice. I would rather see you bulletproof your business though. The choice is yours, and that's it. So if you found this helpful, drop a comment below and let me know your experience with Stripe. Or better yet, tell me what platform you're using and whether you've ever had issues. Because in 2025, digital business owners need to share knowledge. We all need to help each other. We need to protect each other because the platforms won't. I'll see you on the next video.